Hi, I'm Chase Heavener, and you're watching the Alliance Wake 2023 Gear Guide foil reviews. Today we are reviewing the Slingshot setup. This is a Slingshot WF1 V4 board. This is the Slingshot 82 mast, the Phantasm mast with a Phantasm G900 front wing and a Phantasm PS400 tail. Kind of how we're doing this is reviewing setups today versus individual pieces of the board. Whereas you could review just one part of this, we're sort of looking at this as a holistic setup from each brand and kind of giving reviews around like where does this live in like the beginner to intermediate range and what would you buy as like a complete setup for a rider. Today we rode this Slingshot setup. And it really surprised me. This 900 front wing is a high aspect wing for Slingshot. And so what high aspect means is it's a little thinner from sort of nose to tail on the front wing, but it's wide and then it doesn't have a lot of like thickness or volume here in these sort of, middle parts of the wing. So what that means for pumping is that you get a lot less friction in your pump and it glides a lot better. So for me out there on the water, I was having a great time, kind of being outside the wave and doing everything I like to do. This mast is a little longer, so if I was like a beginner rider, I'd probably put you on a shorter mast, but the mast was great for me. I ride a long mast like this and it kind of let me do all the turns I like to do and kind of be where I want to be in the water. The board is cool. The board's good. It's a wider board than I'm used to, but just from a volume perspective and a width perspective, you can sort of be wherever you want to be on this board. Whereas like a shorter board, your balance point is really small. So if you move an inch, it makes a big difference. With this board, you kind of have a lot of room to move. So like as a beginner rider, like this is great, or even an intermediate rider. Like I would still ride this board, but I like smaller boards generally speaking because I like responsiveness. But this is sort of a great beginner to intermediate board, but you can still do everything you want to do on it. So now we'll kind of go into the categories and give you guys a little bit more detail as to like the specifics of this setup. So the first category would be like pumping, and this board pumped well. I kind of found myself, able to get out where I wanted. It's a more high performance board and a more high performance front wing, so that doesn't necessarily give you a lot of glide out there, but I had no problems pumping it. I would give this definitely like a 7 out of 10. It was good. Like I kind of got out to wherever I wanted to be in the wave. I could get way back and do all the things I wanted to do. So I definitely would rate this a 7 out of 10 on the pump scale. The next category we're talking about is glide. And so what glide means for this review is how much lift does the board have? How much can I just kind of stand there and ride on the board, whether it's in the wave or outside the wave, and just go and kind of have fun and like glide out in the water. So this is a high performance board for Slingshot. So the front wing is smaller and the fuselage is shorter. So it doesn't have as much glide as like some of the bigger wings would have, but it definitely worked. I'd give this like a 6 out of 10 for sure on glide on this board. So the next category is speed. This is definitely a fast board. And for me, that's what I ride. That's what I like to ride. I like to ride aggressive wings, aggressive boards. I like speed. I want to go fast. I want to do the turns I want to do. So I would give this board an 8 out of 10 on the speed scale. It really did a good job and did all the things that I want to do on the foil. So I liked it a lot. Carving is our next category, and this board carved really well. I was definitely surprised with having such a high aspect wing, how well it carved. So I would give this like an 8 out of 10 on carving. It did a great job on the first wave and really did all the sort of hard lean turns that I like to do and be up in the wave where I want to be. So this was great. I really had a good time on this board. So the last category is like, who is this board for? And I would sort of say that this board sort of lives in that intermediate to advanced category. And what I always tell people is get a board you can grow into. I think a lot of times people want to get into foiling and get a beginner board, which is great, and you need that. But but you advance very fast once it all clicks, and you grow out of bigger wings and you grow out of bigger boards very quickly, and you want to do more stuff, and this is a board that you can grow into and still sort of with this larger board, wider board, you know, that gives you like a lot more surface area to work with at first, but then you kind of have these like more advanced, longer mast, smaller front wing, smaller tail situations where like you can grow into this and you can kind of, you know, grow into turning and doing all like the, you know, popping your tails out and all that stuff. So I would definitely give this like a beginner to advanced on who this board is made for. I got on this and instantly had a great time, and sort of did a lot of the things that I like to do on the foil. So you know, like I said, I like to ride aggressive front wings, aggressive boards, and this met my needs out there from my riding style. So I really had a good time on this board, and I was super happy on it. So that does it for the Slingshot foil kit for the 2023 Alliance Wake Gear Guide. Click the link above for more information from Slingshot, and we'll see you on the next video.